chance to be raped in their lifetime. Well, 1 in 8 only have, they have a chance to have breast cancer. But women are more scared of getting breast cancer than being raped. Women are afraid of not being able to go outside, and this isn't going to change until people don't walk the earth anymore. According to the article, this is how women feel about walking alone at night at their own neighborhoods. In the Washington Post, Emily Badger on the 28th of May, 2014, said that the fear of violence shapes and narrows lives of women because they don't want to travel alone after a party. They can't go jogging at night because that's a leisure that only men have. And they can't wear certain types of clothing because they don't want to portray a sexual orientation to them. So first of all, I will be giving you a glimpse into the past when women had no rights. Second, I will be describing the changes and how women can now walk the streets without feeling as in danger, and how men with friends who are girls to help them be safer. So I won't bore you with a summary, or I won't bore you with a history lesson. So I'm just going to do a summary of the 19th Amendment. The 19th Amendment prohibited U.S. citizens from being denied the right to vote based on sex. And it was officially ratified or given the okay on the 18th of August, 1920. They were tied because the South was very opposed for women having their own rights. So Tennessee was the only ones left to decide. It was a 48-48 vote, and the tie was down to Harry T. Byrne, and he had a mother who sent him a letter, and that's the only reason why it got ratified. According to the ERIC database, prior to the 1900s, history of rape was patchy. Women were too afraid to testify, and there were no statistics between the 1970s to the 1990s. So once new Americans, when they first got here, started heading west, they pillaged Native American villages, and the women of these villages were raped. And they weren't allowed to say anything because they felt that they would be undesirable to the husband that would want them. In slavery times, rape was a power tool. It was an I'm better than you and you should know it. These were hardly reported, and when they were, they didn't get far in the courthouse, and the investigators went to both sides of the stories to see if the women's was believable. The 19th Amendment, the suffrage group they wanted to count numbers, and the rape statistics became more known and more prominent in schools, which was actually pretty weird. So in the 21st century, that changed in the government. There was less danger in the streets, but women of the lowest statuses, meaning color, youth, low class, divorced, separated, never married, that pretty much encompasses all women. The odds weren't in our favor, really. So according to the U.S. News article, women, young and low-income Americans didn't feel safe in neighborhoods. 4 out of 10 adults don't feel safe walking within 1 mile of their house. 48% were between the ages of 18 and 29. In 2010, 50% of women felt unsafe in their neighborhoods. Men was only 22%. Women had a bigger percentage than men when they were trying to be safe. In 2011, Gallup took country surveys based on gender. So the most safe was the Netherlands, with 69% of women feeling safe and 91% of them feeling safe. The least safe was Algeria, 32% for women and 66% for men. And then in the US was somewhere in the middle, with 62% for women and 89% for men. And I'm going to show you a really short video that basically describes how women feel in the 21st century.
Hey, how y'all doing, guys?
Don't miss the company that rocks the...
My dad had me take self-defense classes, and at first I was really opposed, like I'm not a violent person, I don't enjoy fighting or anything like that, and he was like, I know, but it's stuff that you need to be learning, and I hated that he was right.
Right? men don't understand having to be in fear, and this could actually benefit their friends who are girls. So when I was at work the other day, I work at Spirit Halloween in the mall. The girls decided that we should all dress up as superheroes, so I dressed up as Harley Quinn, and I put a little tutu on just for a little bit of fun. So I was basically on display at the front of the mall because I was greeting people. Everyone was staring, and at first I thought it was just because I was wearing a tutu and I was dressed up in a Halloween costume and I'm just a weirdo. But when I started paying more attention, it was older men who were staring at me and giving me up and down looks, smiling at me, and one even winked at me and gave me $1. And some of these older men came up to me, touched my shoulder, and said, "This fits you really well," or "You look really cute." And honestly, I was very scared. Because I felt as though one of them would wait for me after I got off work, because I got off work pretty soon. So I felt like they would rob me and violate me, and that's what women have to fear every day. So guys, do your friends a favor. If you ever see one of your friends who's a girl, or even your girlfriend, in an awkward situation with a guy and they seem very, "I don't want this," then please go and help them. Because most likely, if they're looking uncomfortable, they're scared. So never leave. There are a couple things that I can suggest for guys to help their friends. Is never leave their girlfriends alone anywhere. Keep their eye on their friend's drink so that nobody can slip anything into it. And they can walk their friend to their car or even drive them home. It may not seem like much, but think of it like this. You may or may not have just saved them from being violated and robbed. So we took a look into the past today, and we looked at the dangers of women and how they had no rights. Then we looked at statistics from raped women, and then we went into my personal experience and how men could help. And women can't feel safe all the time because they're given a pair of X chromosomes. So, and I want to leave you guys with a suggestion of watching Lady Gaga's video, "Till It Happens to You." It's about college rape and how it really could happen to anyone. Thanks.